Hello, this is Encounters with Life. I'm Sean Abigail, your host. Who should replace Pierre Poilievre, replace him as leader of the Conservative Party of Canada? I'm going to answer that question, who should replace him, in a few minutes. But first, I want to talk about who could replace him. First off, Doug Ford, very popular Premier of Ontario. He's a bit of a populist. He keeps on getting elected. People seem to be happy with him. He seems to have the right touch. Friendly guy, everything. He's probably the number one contender to replace Pierre Poilievre. But should he? So he seems to have maybe sabotaged Pierre Poilievre, seems to have not been full-throated in his support of his fellow Conservative, and I think that would hurt him if he chose to run. Now, I want to know what you think. If you are a Liberal or an NDP supporter, would you consider voting for Doug Ford and the Conservative Party if Doug Ford was the leader? And if you are a Conservative, would you consider not voting for the Conservatives, or at least sitting out the election if Doug Ford was the leader? I'd like to know your opinion. Please let me know in the comments. All right, so that's Doug Ford. Second possible contender to replace Pierre Poilievre, Corey Teneke. Just kidding. That's not going to happen. So if Corey ever had aspirations to run for political office himself, he deep-sixed them in this election. And he broke Reagan's rule, Ronald Reagan's rule, thou shalt not speak ill of thy fellow Conservatives. Corey had an opinion, he had a point, and but there's things that you can say in private that you cannot say in public. And you know what? If you say those things in private and you don't get listened to, that does not give you permission to say them in public. So I think Corey, his time as a force to be reckoned with in the Conservative movement, as a voice to be heard, I think his time is over. Maybe he's decided he wants to do something else and he decided to go out with a bang. I don't know. Another possibility is Danielle Smith. So she has done an excellent job of defending her province against Donald Trump and against the feds who might want to sell Alberta down the river in order to win a point with Donald Trump. However, a lot of people are going to say, oh, Danielle Smith, she's a traitor to Canada. Now, I don't think that that's the case at all. I think she was a voice of reason in dealing with Donald Trump. But if she was the leader of the Conservative Party, it would be giving the Liberals a softball to, or a slow pitch, what's the expression? Anyway, to knock out of the ballpark, because it would just make it too easy to say, oh, she's a traitor. All right. Then there's another possibility, and that is Scott Moe. Scott is very popular in Conservative circles. He certainly understands what it means to have a resource-based economy. I think, and he's not carrying the baggage that Danielle Smith is carrying. He is certainly well respected in Conservative circles. Problem for Scott is that he doesn't bring a province with him, so to speak. So you want somebody like Doug Ford who could bring a large province with you that's not typically voting for the Conservatives. Whereas Scott has a province that does typically vote for the Conservatives. So that would be something holding him back. Now, here's another one. Caroline Mulroney. So she is, again, well regarded, impeccable pedigree as the daughter of two-term Prime Minister Brian Mulroney. She is a cabinet minister in Ontario. She's been elected as a member of the provincial parliament a number of times. What's holding her back? She hasn't had a high-profile cabinet appointment. She's had cabinet appointments, but they are like, I think she's transport minister right now, not really high profile. So that could be holding her back. But if we're dealing in the realm of the could, I think she could be a contender. I think she would get a lot of support. All right, that's who I think could replace Pierre Poilievre. Actually, and now there's one more, and that is Andrew Scheer. So Andrew was the conservative leader and failed to win a government. But you know what? He, again, very well regarded in conservative circles. So a lot of people complain about Pierre Poilievre. Oh, he's so mean. They're the same people who were complaining, oh, Andrew Scheer's so nice. It's true. He has the exact opposite personality to Pierre Poilievre. He's just friendly, happy, outgoing, and people that I know like that. And as far as the people who would complain about that, well, they're going to complain anyway, because they're not complaining because Pierre is mean and Andrew is nice. They're complaining because they're conservatives. They are people who are already upset about something, and they just want an excuse to be upset. They want an excuse to cut loose. They are people who have a complaining spirit, and they want to complain. But anyway, Andrew Scheer, could he return? I don't know. What do you think? All right. Those are the people who could replace Pierre Poilievre. But now we come to the question, who should replace Pierre Poilievre? And I don't think anyone should. Pierre Poilievre has won probably the best turnout for the Conservatives in the last decade. If the NDP had not had the wheels come off their whole campaign, if the Bloc had not lost 1/3 of their support, Pierre Poilievre probably would have formed a government. And he is wildly popular among Conservatives. Nobody is calling for his head right now, and I think he should lead the Conservatives into the next election. When will that be? We don't know. It's a minority government. We'll see how much the NDP wants to roll over and play dead for the new Liberal government. But that's what I think. What do you think? I'd love to hear your opinions, as always, and I'd really love it if you would subscribe to this channel. I'm Sean Abigail. That's Encounters with Life.